Hey guys, Crypto Sunday, and we've finally had a red week. You can only go on so long on the upside, and so it's 12,000 down on the portfolio this week. Not too bad. I've kind of been waiting for an opportunity to maybe add some more, and sort of potentially thinking this is it, which I will come back to after the news. There's a reasonable amount of news this week. We've seen sort of attacks on staking in the US. Kraken have sort of bowed down reasonably quickly and paid a $30 million fine, which is sort of not too bad, really. Kraken, I would imagine, can afford that quite easily. But they've also had to sort of put an end to their staking program. They were offering sort of up to 21% interest on various coins, sort of varying levels depending on the coin. Your Bitcoins and Ethereums would earn less and higher amounts for speculative altcoins. But yeah, it looks like you were sort of transferring custody over to Kraken and they were sort of doing what they like with it, rather than your sort of Ethereum staking where you keep it and you're getting rewarded for sort of being a validator, basically. This was you giving your money to Kraken and them sort of doing what they want with it and providing you a return. So it's not necessarily all staking, or certainly not Ethereum staking, but it's another blow and another sort of precedent the SEC have set for themselves. They can say, we've already done one, we're going to go after more. But when you kind of break everything down, you can't really blame them for going after the people that they have gone after. And maybe this isn't the worst thing, but yeah, maybe worth sort of having a read over this article. There's sort of a few bits and pieces in there. Nexo also sort of been sued by the New York Attorney General's office. So yeah, they're all the staking platforms. If they haven't gone bust, as in BlockFi and Voyager and them sort of people, then they're getting sued and sort of staking sites being shut down. This was a shame to see as well. Local Bitcoins have shut down, citing market conditions. I kind of wonder if people just aren't using them really, rather than market conditions causing them to shut down. Obviously, you've got a lot more exchanges than used to be sort of when these guys were popular. I actually bought my first Bitcoin on local Bitcoins, quite a few of them. It was sort of a great part of the 10 Bitcoin that I had originally sort of came from local Bitcoins. There wasn't a huge amount of exchanges that you had back then. So yeah, I sort of do have a soft spot for them. But yeah, now obviously FTX have gone, but while they were around, it was a far, far better and easier way to buy crypto, as long as you took it off there and put it somewhere safe. Same as you should have done with local Bitcoins. Like, they had a wallet inbuilt on the exchange, but you never should have left it off there, or left it on there rather. So yeah, it's I guess kind of inevitable, but a little bit sad, I think, still. Had quite an interesting press release from the UK government. They have sort of said they want the UK to be a crypto hub, and I sort of thought, we've heard this before, but now it does have Rishi behind it, essentially. I keep sort of going back to basically his first or second day in charge. He sort of came out fighting for central bank digital currencies and sort of seemed to be pro-crypto. And we've got these sort of press release that they're planning to regulate crypto and protect customers. So this is sort of going through a lot of banning things and sort of cracking down on things, rather than sort of wanting everyone to go and buy Bitcoin. But I think just the clarity over sort of rules of what you can and can't do may lend it a bit of legitimacy and sort of potentially bring some companies sort of either to the UK or back to the UK if they've left. we do still have issues that even things like Bitcoin ETFs, there's an ETF in Europe, but I do have in my ISA, which is banned in the UK. So it's not sort of leveraged. It's a spot Bitcoin ETF. You know, you put £1,000 into the ETF and they buy £1,000 of Bitcoin, but they charge you a 2% fee, which is a lot. But I'm sure competition will sort of come to drop those fees. But yeah, the UK sort of still haven't allowed that, which you would see as sort of the safest way really for a lot of people to get into Bitcoin, rather than trying to sort of hold their own wallet and potentially lose their keys and then write into the sun and say, you know, I lost all my money because of crypto, when really it's just their own sort of bookkeeping and record keeping. So having it in their ISA managed by, you know, one of the big boys is probably safer for your mum and pop type investors, as they call them. And you can always rely on the perma bulls, people like Dan Moorhead, Pantera Capital CEO, says we're already in the next bull market cycle. This is a year for rebuilding trust. I do kind of agree, but I always get nervous sort of seeing these people saying, you know, we've seen the lows, nothing more bad can happen. You know, there could always be something. But yeah, this was kind of agreeing with this, thinking sort of, yeah, I've missed the bottom in January. Could have bought sort of some tokens a great deal lower, but we've sort of seen a hell of a lot get thrown at it in the last year, and it sort of hasn't dropped lower than the FTX lows. And yeah, kind of thinking maybe sort of add a little bit more. So looking at the portfolio, I'm thinking I would leave. A lot of people ask me whether I would buy more Bitcoin or sort of maybe Ethereum, but I just kind of think it's awkward for tax reasons. Obviously, it would be affecting my average, and sort of Bitcoin for tax gets pooled and sort of depends on your average. So I don't really want to be affecting that. And also, sort of in the bull market, generally altcoins would outperform. So while I am sort of down quite a bit on some of these, then I sort of think even if I sort of haven't bought at the lows, then it may be a decent time to add. So I was looking at adding to Solana, Chainlink, probably Audius a little, XRP a little, Basic Attention Token, and Power Ledger. And then also looking at buying back probably about 1,000 of Internet Computer, one that I sort of sold off for tax reasons and didn't buy back. I bought Polygon and have then just held on to it, which has done pretty well, to be fair. And also looking at starting a new position in VeChain. It's sort of been mentioned quite a few times, certainly on TikTok and by sort of one or two of you guys on here. And yeah, I sort of like what I see, so potentially looking into getting into that as well. So interesting. Just looking at the moves for the week, so Bitcoin down 6.8%, Ethereum down 8.2%, so we've had quite a few sort of reasonable size movers in the large caps. Solana down 14%, so yeah, it was at, you know, $8 or $7, whatever it was. Would have been lovely to sort of buy some there, but yeah, down to sort of $21. I think it's a reasonable time to put a bit of a buy in. I think my average is about 50 still, so it's lowering my average. Cardano down 8.4%, Chainlink 3.8%, they've done a bit better. Matic is in the green, Polygon 1.3%, so they hold up pretty well. Gala 21% in the red, but this is sort of way over my average, so I've not been seeing all that much news from them. Still haven't had confirmation on the Dwayne Johnson and Mark Wahlberg movies. So yeah, I'm not all that keen to be sort of adding to that at the moment. What else we got? Audius down 4%. I will double check the user metrics for them. Just sort of haven't really heard all that much recently. They kind of got pumped on the Coinbase listing news, but that isn't a reason to be super bullish. I want to see user numbers. XRP down 7%. Still just waiting on the lawsuit. Quant down 6.6%. Basic attention token 10% down. And Power Ledger down 23%. But they sort of had a bit of a pump up recently, so I think that's just taken a drop off that very short term peak, really. Probably, if you look back 8 or 9 days, say, it's broadly flat. So, yeah, still like what I see from them and would like to add, even though it is way over my my average, 246% up. Average is 4p and it's 15p, but yeah, that was years and years ago, so I think I will add. So yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments below if there's anything sort of you think I should be doing differently if with those buys, or any new tokens, anything you've been buying, and like and subscribe. See you soon.